Hi everyone, this is the Late Night Connection, a show where we are celebrating the power of creativity, diving into the art of building, and exploring how action transforms ideas into reality. Through discussions with remarkable guests, we'll uncover the insider's journey behind crafting ideas, building skills, and what makes thoughts come to life. I'm your host, Jay Bala. Let's jump right into it. Today we're joined by Zara Jayne. Zara Jayne is a dancer, choreographer, writer, and teacher based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. She started her dance training at the age of 5 and her foundation is in ballet. Over the years, she has expanded her dance vocabulary to include hip hop, dancehall, and Latin. In addition to her dance work, Zara is also a writer and teacher. She has written articles and essays on dance, and she teaches dance classes to children and adults. She's passionate about sharing her love for dance with others and inspiring them to express themselves through movement. She's also a self-published author. Her works called #Cillipadi Travel, where she shares experiences of solo traveling and the lessons she has learned, providing tips for others who are solo travelers as herself. So today, as we start off the session, we like to kick things off with a fun fact. Something maybe Zara you could explain about yourself that we cannot find online. Maybe some hidden talent that you might have.
Sure, actually, because this is a very, very random one, but I used to watch WWE Raw a lot. I
Right.
was brought up as an only child, so I think my dad was a bit like, have the boy side to it. So yeah, I was very much brought up WWF, WWE. Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah. Who would you say is your favorite? There has to be
Ooh,
one.
that's a good question.
Yes.
Sometimes the entertainment part could be Stone Cold Steve Austin, him with the beer, or the cute little Rey Mysterio because we're both small and petite. So yeah, I know my wrestlers.
All right. Yes, indeed. I can quiz you on that another time, but
Sure.
we're going to talk to you a lot about your experience and your expertise. So we're going to kick things off again, just on the question side of things, reading your bio, hearing about, your vast experience or even the transferring your skills from ballet, then suddenly moving to dance hall and hip hop and Latin. So how has that been and why was that transition? Why did you transition into these other various styles?
Yeah, so growing up, those who remember our generation of MTV and dance movies and all these commercials and music videos, it was something very interesting to watch as well, really fun and entertaining. And I've always wanted to delve into that. But because, ballet is it's very specific, it's very strong in their foundation, very technical, very upright. It is a very good foundation, it's very good for your posture. Yes, so if anyone wants to try adult ballet, please go for it. But yeah, I transitioned because again, my body moves so differently. I love the grooves and the funk and the fun to dance hall and afro, and especially us being Malaysians, we're very, we groovy, joget a bit. So we have that natural groove, right? We have that natural bounce.
Yeah.
So again, for me, it was very easy transition because I had that natural groove in me, and it was a very different scene as well. So I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think I mean, like for me, dance hall, I mean, maybe even for others out there, what kind of style or the sound itself? What do you play with?
Yeah, so dancehall actually comes from Jamaica, so it is actually very Caribbean, very island. Because everyone would think, oh, Jamaica is only reggae, but dancehall is another other style. It's more chill and vibey. We have calypso, and yeah, it's very very fun. I'm sure it's definitely a lot of in your hip movements, hip rotations, all the booties will come out lah. And all those who love Bollywood, yes, you would definitely enjoy dancehall.
Nice. I think also, like you mentioned, having the ballet as a foundation, that is something like, I'm thinking like, everybody learns piano and then they jump into a whole very varied skills, of other instruments. Would you say like ballet was one of that foundation, like, could set you off to various heights in a different way of seeing it?
Yeah, again, as a child, my parents put me in everything. They put, typical, typical Asian, right? They put you in piano class, guitar, art, Mandarin, and everything you can think of. And I think ballet was one of the foundations because, again, and growing older, my parents used to ask me, would you want to continue? And I think because again many dancers ask, do you need to have ballet? And honestly you don't, but it really depends which direction you are choosing. If you're more street, more hip hop, more the street dancing, break dancing side, again it's really up to your own preference. But ballet, especially now being older, I realize even standing in a first position, right, your feet are turned out and you have to stand really straight, it takes a lot of energy. Even now being much older, going through my 30s, I realize there's so much that ballet can help with your posture, your knees, your back, everything, your neck, even your all your ligaments, all your bone structure. Yeah, it's a good foundation.
Looking at the scene, for most artists, we can see, like, this scene can be not so rewarding, and people are not compensated fairly for their work and their time. What is some of your thoughts on that?
Oh, that is a very good topic because it has been going on for years, and different dancers have different opinions. But it's definitely the payment rates, and also payment whether it's on time or not. Because for some of us, our payments come 3 months later, 5 months later. Some people even a year, and with very big companies as well. So can you imagine? We have to pay for rent, we have to pay for food and everything, and you just have to wait there, lah. Like typical, just wait until kingdom come. But it's something that's been going along for many years, many generations, and it is one of those things where dance is not looked at in a, I would say, respectful way. In a very, it's always lower class. It's always, oh, people just do it for fun. People just, or you can do it for free. But there's also a lot of work ethic to it, and there's a lot of time and energy spent. Even in KL, going from one location to the other, you have to think about traffic and time. And then a lot of, and how our payment rates work is that we have to factor in your time, energy, studio rental. Are we and how many hours are we spending in that studio rental? For especially for girls, hair, makeup, clothes, because if it's DIY, then lah, you have to spend, and money is not makeup is not cheap. Good makeup is not cheap, and then baju, like clothes, if last minute I need to source for something else, I have to go, I don't know, like online, Times Square, or make sure my friends have something for me ASAP. So there's a lot to factor in, and I think people don't realize that. And a lot of people think, oh, we just show up to a show, a corporate event, or a class, and just, okay lah, we just teach or perform and then dah settle. But there's a lot that goes on, and how we budget, and our payment rates were different from, let's say, a regular class, a private class, to even choreographing for a music video, a wedding. It's all different rates. So it's one of those things where it's you penat lah. You're really tired to negotiate. It's really sometimes it's really demeaning or diminishing to your spirit, because you have to negotiate your rate. You have to negotiate your price, because as an artist, you are the brand, you are the art. So we have to negotiate our worth, and it's also very tiring. But end of the day, I'm so tired. I'm like, oh, I'm done. But you wouldn't ask the same question for someone in corporate. Like you wouldn't ask a doctor, hi, like unless again you're financially very unstable, that's absolutely fine, that's emergency. But you would never ask a corporate person or a doctor, oh, can you your rates can be this much, sorry, yeah, we out of budget. Or no, like you wouldn't ask that question, right? So it's about considering our views as well, and what we have to pay, and our livelihoods, and knowing our side as well.
Yeah, I think you touched on an interesting thing, because uh, for women, like you said, there's
Mm.
makeup and all these things. So, and it should be, I think as a woman, you should be paid more in that sense because there's all this
Yeah,
other consideration in that
right.
area. Whereas for maybe the guys, maybe just a simpler style. Of course, they might do
Yeah.
some makeup, but it wouldn't be as extensive.
Yeah, or if they're doing
Yeah.
something a bit more physical, let's say they're doing break dancing on everything, people don't factor in our health insurance as well. For me, I dislocated my knee last year's, but does my work pay for that? No, I have my own insurance. I have to pay everything on my own, so that isn't covered as well. So the health benefits, EPF, and all these things do not cover for us freelancers.
So just to maybe understand a bit more, some people may have got the opportunity to learn about this or join a collective, but seeing that you're an individual yourself,
Yeah.
how did you manage to, understand how to, not only, to market, but mainly to talk to clients? And were you doing like, do you do invoicing to them, the proper documentation?
Yeah.
Is there a contract signed up
Yeah.
before? How did you work, or this is something you had to learn on the field itself?
It's definitely something I had to learn because again, I was away. I was studying in Melbourne, and then I did my gap year, traveling the world and everything. And then coming back, I was just kind of thrown into it. And but the great thing about Malaysia is everyone kind of knows everyone, and our community is very small, so it's a blessing that I had so many friends. Hey, do you have a gig? Or hey, I can call up a friend, ask them. This is the budget. How much should I ask the client for? So it was it's definitely a lot of questions, a lot of learning curves, a lot of mistakes as well. Like, oh, maybe I shouldn't take that gig, or maybe I should have asked for more. I know my worth, but then again, you're trying to be nice, and you're very new to the industry. So there was a lot of learning curves, a lot of mistakes, but there's definitely something that you have to do on your own, and you have to have the initiative to take on your own, going to the older generation or other clients, and really, or I've been asking friends, what is the rate, what is everyone's concerns, what is everyone's hours, what are the right ways to go around it, and definitely invoice, definitely try to have a black and white. But again, with our industry, it's a lot of word of mouth, or something that's messaging and everything. But yeah, definitely have invoice, but always try to protect yourself lah.
Yeah. I think some of the things that through our programs in Mereka Academy is where we're teaching a lot of individuals, how to set themselves, in this gig employability, or this digital era and future of work even. A lot of times people are alone, they don't
Yeah.
have that support. It's either through friends, you're lucky, and then some people might not want to teach those kind of skills. And it's great to see that you were able to find your way around things. But yeah, this is one thing that through this sharing, we hope those out there also will get to know what are the things they can do for themselves. These kind of things, simple things like just contracts, billing, and making sure you figure out the payment
Yeah.
policy even in the start
Mm.
upfront. Like
Yes,
otherwise
upfront.
gone, like there's nothing in black and white, then they can't hold them in on any part of
Yeah,
this.
so even I had a gig where she asked me, the person that contacted me, oh, what are your concerns? Because I asked her, when would the payment be made? And then she said, oh, what are your concerns? Why do you need to know this? And I said, well, a lot of us, our pay comes 3 months later. Again, what I've said, 5 months, some people a year, we have to chase. Can you imagine? We have to chase people to pay us, because we don't work in the way where our income comes monthly, unless you're teaching classes and whatnot. But a specific gig is to each his own. So again, how do you go about that, right? So, and I told her that it's for our livelihood. A lot of things, and it's not even we want to party or have a luxurious life. It's really, yeah, just simple things like food on the table, roof over our head, and just whatever we need to pay off. And then she said, oh, okay. And then I gave her a specific time as well. And then you know what's so funny? Because they said, okay, 3 weeks after this gig, right? And then ngam by 11:50 something, like on that date as well. 11:50 something, they paid us on time, because we said if you do not pay us on time, we will charge an interest fee. We will charge, and then again, if we have OT for gigs or whatever shoots or anything, we will charge OT for whatever hours, extra hours because we're just there. We're just waiting there for don't know what, for the snow to fall, right? And it's a waste of time.
Yes.
It's really respecting each other's time and
Yeah,
energy
even following up as well, it takes up a lot of time.
exactly.
It's not nice for you, not nice for them,
Yeah.
and even it doesn't need to put shame like if they are big company or small company. It's just
Mm.
a work ethics, a train
Yeah.
has been done, service has been completed,
Yes.
payment needs to be completed
Yes.
as well,
Exactly.
due
Yeah.
in that sense. Yeah. All right. So looking at, you mentioned that you do teaching, and also you teach kids.
Yep.
This is something, it definitely gonna have a lot of breakthrough moments and also some challenges in this environment. How are some things that, that you have to put yourself to actually, develop those skills for these young learners? What are some of the
Mm.
techniques?
Right.
How do you encourage them to pick this up?
Yeah, so I would like to just put it out there. I'm not a certified teacher. Okay, so
Okay.
parents, like, please don't think, oh, she got a degree for that. But no, it's really the experiences I've had because I've taught younger kids, teenagers. I've done a lot of youth development programs when I was younger, and my parents always brought me to, all the refugees and, go into the kampong and help all those kids. So I've had experience in that and also my experience in performing arts. So I kind of blend the two where I see how kids operate and then through the arts as well. How can they be creative? How can they think creatively and also think critically? So a lot of the exercises I do, because 60 minutes is actually a lot for a child.
Mm-hmm.
So the attention span, parents, right? Their attention span is like within 3 minutes, like, okay, the next thing and the next thing, right? Even teenagers, because now in the world of social media, it's like that, right? Their attention span is out of this world. So how I get them to have that to hold their attention, always play games with them at first. So especially with the younger ones, the primary, I always do activities with them where I ask them, okay, imagine you are in the safari or you're in the ocean. What will you be? Who would you be? And even things like, oh, if you're in a dream, what can, and again, their imagination can go absolutely wild, but it is so fun to see because I think as adults we lose that childlikeness, we lose that creativity, and we think, oh, A has to be A, B has to be B, and a lot of adults tell me, oh, I'm not creative, but no, like problem solving is creative, coming up with a company is creative. There's a lot of ways to be creative, so that's how I get my kids to be a bit more involved, and I'm grateful for the school that I work at because they're very encouraging with performing arts. So sports day, teachers day, honors day, whatever it is, they will just, okay, go. Whoever wants to go on stage, just go. It doesn't matter he, she, they, it, and they will just shine. And it's so fun to see because they just love it. They don't, and especially as a child, you don't really care. You don't really bother. You're like, okay, I love what I do. Let's just go for it. So that has been really fulfilling. And it's really nice to see, especially once they've done a performance, the look on their faces when they come up to you and ask you, how did I do? Oh, teacher, Miss Zara, like, I did this and then this, and and then they come up to you being so happy with what they did and what they performed and say, yeah, you did very well. You did so good. I'm so proud of you. And they're like, they're in this whole like joyful state and it's so fulfilled. And for me as a teacher, that is how I know I did my part. It's not about me being the best teacher, teacher award, whatever. It's not that at all. But it's really seeing my kids thrive. Even I had a Down syndrome kid as well, and that boy, he just loves what he does. And even his mother was that told me, came up to me and said, my son really loves to dance. It doesn't matter whether you're autistic, Down syndrome, two left feet. When you love music, you feel the music, you just gotta dance.
Gotta move. Gotta move. I think just wanting to figure out, like for you in your sense,
Yep.
where do you think your passion or maybe where do you think the challenges are? Is it teaching kids or adults?
Oh, that's a good question. A few people have asked me. They have the pros and cons because kids can be. Sometimes you're like, thank you, parents, for picking
For
up your
this 1
kids.
hour.
Yes, for just 1 hour, it's great. And then, okay, we're done for the day, but the parents have to settle them. But but sometimes again with adults, because they're, adults tend to overthink a lot of things as well. And then there's a lot of, again, there's pros and cons, but I think with children or even with teenagers, it's about building their character, because they're younger, so there's a lot of things that they may not understand. So it's okay, like, how do you, for me especially, I teach them a lot of character building. So punctuality, respecting each other's time. And if, let's say, you didn't practice your part but everyone else did, that's
Everything's
on you.
sync and you're
Yeah,
all,
that's on you.
fumbling.
You didn't practice, your friends practice, so it's on your responsibility, your part, to practice on yourself, right? So, and again, it translates to the real world as well. So you have to do your part, and patience with your friends, and performance, the performanceship. How do you perform on stage? What is that presence like? Because again, it's very different than a class. So I always try to teach them different things and how to navigate into the real world. Because for us, like, well, I don't know about other people in government school, we don't learn all these things. We
Yeah,
have to learn it on our own,
exactly.
it just kind of been thrown out there. So, but for adults, I feel like it's a lot of relearning and rediscovering your body, because when you're older, a lot of people ask me, "Oh, can I do this at that age? Can I?" You can. You actually can, but it's just harder. It takes a bit longer because again, you're not as flexible, or you don't use those muscles for a while, or it's a bit rusty lah. You have to oil a bit, right? So like, yeah, and even stretching is also a whole other thing. So it's about taking care of your body, and just even asking your regular doctor, can I or not? For those who have weak knees, weak back, be careful. But it is always possible. It's just mind over matter, right? So it's rediscovering your body, especially with the girls that I teach. A lot of students I have, they are very uncomfortable with their body, and they feel very awkward to even show that feminine side, that sensual side. So I always try to teach my students how, again, I cannot teach you how to be sexy, but I can give you the tools to, at least know how to be comfortable with your body, be comfortable with the way you move.
All right. Yeah, it's never too late. We've seen lots of old people still dancing,
Never
still
too late.
swinging around. Yeah, but always, figure out what moves. And then so, if you're going to do something like break dance, make sure your
Yeah.
body is all in line
Please.
and check with a doctor and stuff
And all the
before you go
splits
into
and everything.
one step at a time. You can't just straight away carry 20 or 50 kilos in a set. You gotta pace it. Thanks for sharing with that. I'm gonna talk a little bit about your other varied skills that you have. As I was reading your intro, you are an emerging writer festival showcasing some of your talent in your self-published book hashtag Cillipadi Travels. So we'd like to know more about what aspects in this that you threw into that whole book. What was some of the story, the journey, and the growth from your side that you found writing this?
Yes, so actually, Emerging Writers Festival is in Melbourne, and that was during my uni days. So they're two separate things. But Emerging Writers Festival is a festival where, again, writers from all over, it doesn't matter whether you are still studying or you are a new writer, whatever it is, so you can just perform your work. So what I did in uni is that our courses are very created to be project based, so we have to work with clients outside, festivals outside, publishing houses outside. So one of our assignments was to write and also perform for Emerging Writers Festival. Now this was probably the first time I combined my dancing and writing, because what I performed, again, my university assignment was different, it was graded differently, but for this festival I performed a shadow dance piece. So it's like wayang kulit lah, but a bit more modern. And I choreographed it, and it's also I wrote it. So the spoken word piece, I also wrote it as well. So I recorded it, so it was like a voice recording, and I danced and choreographed to this voice recording. So imagine like a wayang kulit kind of thing, where I was performing with a friend. I had classmates to help me, and I did the whole dance piece with my recording of the spoken word piece. Yeah. So, and again, my book, Cillipadi Travels, is
Right behind here,
yeah, it's my baby. It is, yeah, it's this way. I gotta turn my neck a bit. Yay, my baby. So it is a book about my solo backpacking travels around Europe. And yes, I traveled on my own for 5 months in Europe. And yeah, it's about my travels. So it is a journal entry format. So it's not just typical paragraphs. I wrote dates in there, and it's color and a lot of pictures. So those who don't like reading, there are a lot of pictures, don't worry.
Pictures sold. Yeah.
Yes, and a lot of colors, a lot of pictures. So what's special about this book is that in the middle section, it's all film, disposable film photos.
Oh.
Okay, so I printed them out, put them in there, and the other photos is just taken by phone. And I'm surprised the quality is really great. So again, shout out to my designer, Andrea, Tommy, Andy. She's still a student. Okay, she's still a design student who designed the whole thing. And each section, so if you can see all the colors, the different colors in the section, it represents the country. So let's say Croatia is very, island, it's very Greece-like, right? So it's blue, and then yeah, they're all different colors. London is gray because yeah, we know. Yeah, so yeah, that's my baby.
All right. Wonderful that, while traveling, you were able to, explain and, journal it yourself and also produce an amazing book. I guess doing a solo travel, for you, were there some moments in the book that you could share with us, something that happened, could be something, that really like changed you or took you in another turn or took you to another country even.
Yeah.
What was that moment,
Oh,
if you don't mind
so
sharing?
many.
Yeah.
But I think one special one was that there's this island called Vis, in Croatia. And it's a very, very tiny island. And they're surrounded by many islands as well. And there's one, it's called Bisevo. I'm so sorry if I butchered it. But it's Blue Cave. Basically, it's a blue cave. And they're around the islands, but this one was the closest. So I really wanted to go to this blue cave because it's luminescent. It was very blue inside, but again, I think due to weather reports and everything, all the boats just couldn't. But I managed to spend time with my because I lived I stayed in a guest house. So the guest house is a family, and there was a grandmother there, and I had the time to actually just spend that day just talking to her. And you know what's so interesting? We barely spoke English.
Oh.
It was a mixture of Italian, because I can speak fluent Spanish. I can speak and listen Spanish. So Italian's like, okay, lah, it's like Malay and Indonesian, right? Same, but different. So it's Italian, Croatian, and then
Some sign language.
it's like a little bit, just pointing
Yeah.
at things, English, very, very minimal. So our whole conversation was just about her childhood, what Croatia was like before, and why a lot of the older generation, they can speak Italian or they know Italian, but because again, history, y'all can just Google that. Yeah, and why they are today, who they are today, their present, and also I would share one that's not in this book.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, you get a special exclusive.
Yes.
Yes, only right here in America. Okay, I never shared this
Alright.
anywhere else. I was waiting for a train somewhere in Italy. I don't remember where. I traveled so much. I was waiting for a train in the train stop, and then there was an older gentleman sitting next to me, as you are, and he was just writing in his notebook. He's much older, like I could say maybe like an uncle kind of age, and he just tapped on the side and said, "Hi, excuse me, can I write a poem for you?" And I thought, especially traveling on your own and being a girl like myself, like a female solo traveler, it's quite daunting. It's quite scary because you don't know who will approach you, and sometimes you don't know what their intentions are. And then I said, sure, and then he actually wrote a poem in his book about me, and he translated it. It was nothing too yeah, explicit or anything. Don't worry. It's just very romantic and typical poem thing. And oh, Zara was traveling here and she's pretty and da da da. She looks like the stars and the moon and typical poetry kind of thing. And because I also have a friend in Milan who translated for me, and he said it's very cute and very beautiful little poem. So I said, yeah, thank you so much. And he didn't give it to me, but it was in his book. I just took a photo, and then we just went our separate ways. And then that was it. It wasn't anything. He did not have any intentions, ill intentions with me. It was just, hi, can. He was just a poet sitting on a train, at a train stop, wanting to write a poem for me. And then bye. That's it.
Maybe one day you should write someone a poem like that,
Yeah, that would be
Return the
nice.
favor.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do see, like, some of my friends who are like females that travel, it's usually if they go out with a friend that they've just met,
Mm.
it's always wise to like message your family and just
Yes.
inform. There's some safety stuff, it's always wise to protect yourself,
Absolutely.
even for guys also, something you take
Yeah.
it for granted and you just go along, and it can lead to other things. So it's always
Mhm.
good to sometimes be a bit more strategic and be smart.
Yeah, just be street smart. Like, be very street smart. Like, where you are going, don't act like a foreigner or tourist. Always try to, be like a local, even though you may not look or sound like it, but just be very confident with where you're going.
All right. So love the travel stuff, and also what you're doing. I know you also teach currently
Yep.
in a school, and juggling all these things. Is this something you're gonna say like, oh man, I wish I could just focus on one thing, or is this something like, nope, give me more. I like this part. I'm still gonna venture forth. And what do you think?
Right.
What is something you'd like to do?
Yeah, it's one of those where we get to pick and choose our work. And it is a good and bad because again we work off the cuff. We just kind of go wherever the wind and the waves take us. Very typical hippie arts life. But it's one of those where you really have to balance it out. If you need to work during this time, whether it's for financial reasons or whatever it is, or you want to create. A lot of people, especially for me, I love creating. So I love choreographing for things, even my own concept videos as well on YouTube. So it's a balance of trying to figure out, okay, this is my time to be busy. This is my season to produce and do whatever I can as a creative. And this is my season to rest and slow down. And I think a lot of creatives don't realize that too. But again, many great artists do that. Like, many great artists come out with albums much later, even movies, books. It takes time. Art takes time.
Yeah.
So for us, we can't just work, 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 Monday to Friday. It's a balance of, okay, this is our grind time, this is our rest time. It's a balance of seasons. And yeah, I have a few upcoming projects, so yeah, heels
Something to check out.
workshops. Shout out, so spicy stilettos, and yeah, so many other projects coming up.
Wow. All right. This brings us to our next segment. We're gonna go into our fun game night. Okay, wait. We'll do it again one more time. Is that right? All right. So now we are part of our game section. And at this time around, we've got a bunch of questions prepared by the team. I've solved them. It's pretty interesting. So we're gonna
Ooh,
test you a little
fun.
bit. And maybe
Sure.
ask you some questions at the same time, but very short.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a rapid fire.
Ah.
No points given,
Okay.
but how cool you answer will determine what score you get.
Ooh, okay,
Okay?
okay. Let's go, let's
All
go.
right.
She's
So,
ready. Oh.
first question. What is your favorite dance move?
Dance move?
Move.
Move. Oh, that is tough.
You gotta do it from the chair.
No, no,
Oh, you
no,
gotta
no.
say what
I
it
would
is.
say it would be a cute little hip or booty rotation. I think my students know, and whoever's seen my dance videos, yeah, something with the hips.
Hips. All right. Next question. What is the best music video you have seen?
Ooh, okay. Best is very hard to determine because
Top of your head.
everyone's best is different. But I would say memorable will be Me Against the Music, Madonna, and featuring Britney Spears.
Okay. Who's your favorite dancer?
Oh, I would say the one that really changed my whole perspective on storytelling would be Keone Mari. They're a couple.
If you don't know, go check them out. Traditional or modern dance?
Oh, both. They are so different.
But
No, okay. Personally, I dance and teach modern more because traditional. It's a lot of technicalities
Okay.
actually. So I really respect traditional dancers.
okay, teaching or performing?
I'm
Tell
like
your students.
gasping. I'm gasping every time. Oh, definitely teaching. Teaching is my heart.
Oh, your students will be
Yeah. I love
proud.
you.
Street dance or high production?
um, street dance, but I love the creative part to high production. I love the being like creative directing and choreographing.
All right, that's all. That's the only few
Okay.
questions. We'll give you, let me see what the audience over here says. I see a 10. Okay, you get a 10. But this marks might reduce in the next section.
Okay, we'll
You
see.
know, so we'll see how
My
you
stress
do.
is going.
The next session is about fun facts.
Okay.
And before I wanted to ask you, you had a fun fact. You wanted to tell us about dance and sound and beats and movement. So I want you to maybe share a little bit about your fun fact.
Okay, so fun fact, and I'm not sure again whether non-dancers know this, is that for dancers, we listen to music, and how we choreograph and how we teach is that we hear a lot of sounds. So like a snare or a bass or a ta ta boom ka ka ki ka shoo sha. So or woo, yeah. So ting, and that determines how we choreograph or how we interpret music, and because not everyone gets to understand 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, and you can't always do that. Some people do, some people don't, and for us, yeah, who just listen to the music and hear krr, krr, skr, woo,
That's what I like. I wait
Right?
for those sounds. It's like,
yeah.
why isn't it there?
And it makes sense. It makes so much sense to your body because
Yeah.
you can do a little pop, pop, and then a woo, like a wave thing. And it has so many textures, so many sounds. It's not just, dance. I always tell my students, dance and music go together. They go hand in hand. So, yeah.
Okay, that's a cool fun fact. I'll give you that. So we're gonna ask you instead to read these fun facts.
Ooh, okay.
Right?
Wow.
And then you tell me whether it's just like interesting. What do you think?
It's like dance history.
Yes,
But I'm
history.
pretty sure I have absolutely no idea. Okay. The first one. The dancing plague of 1518 was a mania that lasted a month and killed dozens of people in Strasbourg, France. I'm so sorry if I didn't pronounce that properly. Through exhaustion or heart attack. I'm so sorry, what? People just dance uncontrollably until they collapsed. One other famous case involved people dancing on a bridge. Eventually, so many people danced that they broke the bridge and fell into the river. I need to Google this.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
So, I was trying to find some fun facts and I was thinking how to ask this.
The
Then I-
dancing
yeah,
plague.
there was such a thing.
Wow, it's well, dance is dangerous.
It is.
It is extreme sport. That's
Exactly.
why we should be paid fairly.
I like that. Use it. Use it. It works. It
We
works.
can make bridges fall.
Next
Wow.
one.
Okay, second one. A world record for the longest conga dance line was set by, 986 people in Miami in 1988. That's a lot of people.
Yeah. That's a big festival by itself.
Wow.
Whole line of people. I don't know where they queued up to.
Just okay,
But
join
yeah,
the
they were congoing.
But conga lines are they're very addictive and very fun. You just
True.
want to join.
I do it
know?
usually in festivals and then
Yeah,
you just meet
or
people
weddings.
and just go run around
Yeah.
weddings, events. It's a must.
It's fun.
It's
Yeah.
It's fun.
Oh, I love this next one.
Do you know this?
Of course I do. You may know Tupac Shakur as the late rapping legend of the late 80s and early 90s, but what you may not know is that he used to do ballet. Okay, boys, listen.
Uh-huh.
He became a member of the 127th Street Ensemble, a Harlem-based theater company. Yes, this is very interesting because boys are allowed to do ballet and you can still be masculine, or boys are fine being dancers. You don't have to be gay or sissy or feminine or whatever. Tupac Shakur is a perfect example.
Exactly. So that's another one. And I'm glad that you know this. Wow. I thought it would be a spin, but because since you do ballet, so I was thinking.
But also it's Tupac Shakur.
It's Tupac.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Next one. The
Oh.
last one, actually.
All right. Last but not least, in 2008, the world's first sustainable dance floor opened the club What in Rotterdam. The floor's tiles each sit on springs hooked up to generators. This is some next level. I need to experience this.
Yeah.
The harder people dance, the more the springs are compressed. And this converts the energy into which runs the LED lights on the floor. So it actually
So it lights up the more
right.
you go.
Oh, that's so
boogieing.
fun.
That sounds interesting. Right? I
Yeah.
remember last time in KL there was a dance floor in Ministry of Sound, and the whole
Right.
dance floor vibrates.
Oh, wow.
As you dance in the dance floor.
Oh, they should bring that back.
They should bring that back. All right, so those were some of the fun facts we had.
Fun.
And since you knew Tupac was a ballet, was a spin, we'll give you, let's see, 10, 10, 10, 10. We
Let's
get 10s all
go.
around. So you're winning.
Of course, of course. She was born to win.
All right, so with that, we are coming to the end of our segment. I'd like to thank Zara. Thank you so much for spending your
Thank
night with
you.
us
Thank you
at
so much.
the Late Night Connections. We like to any final words from you, and how can we get to know more and help? Support what the things that you do.
Yeah, sure. You can find me on at Zara Jayne, ZARAJAYNE, so it's with a Y, 21 on Instagram. Yeah, that's where all my creative work. I post a lot of my classes, my videos, and what songs I'll be doing. And then also for my book, will be at Zara Jayne Books on Instagram as well. And you can find me on YouTube at Zara Jayne, ZARAJYNE.
Right. And with that, hopefully all those links will be found on our socials. Go check them out. Then with going on with that, with
We're
that.
coming to the
with
end.
that. It's 2 a.m. All right, let's go. Yeah, so thanks everyone for tuning in. This is the Late Night Connections with Zara. Today, our guest, and Jay Bala signing off. Dream big, build bigger. Until we reconnect, good night.
Good night.